Hello folks, I had a request for information about the BRS in my Cub. So I'm going to just do a short video here to show the BRS specifically. Now, just the details as I know it. I got the BRS in 2021. The cost was approximately $17K. It's been going up every year. Now CubCrafters just has the line item listed as call for price. So I don't know what the BRS cost here. It's 2025. My guess is it's probably around 20,000. Why did I get a BRS? Well, the first thing is I've flown ejection seat aircraft my entire adult life, so I like having that last option. The other thing is if there's a structural failure of any type, you have a mid-air. I lost a friend in a mid-air long ago. As some of y'all know, I run flightinfo.com. My good buddy Mark Shaden died in a mid-air, probably in the late 90s, I think it was, and then had mid-air incidents in my A-10 career, losing some squadron mates to mid-airs. So what happens? Flying into 757 at LAX, had a huge cinematography type drone off the left wing. I saw it, the crew did not, so I had to debrief them after the flight as to what I saw. We were about 15 miles out of LAX, around 3,000 AGL, and as everybody knows, drones are all over the place now. So the chances of some type of in-flight collision are a lot higher now than ever. Compound that with everybody's got, not everybody, but there's the increasing numbers of glass panels. With glass panels, if you look at YouTubers with their glass panels, everyone's got heads down and nobody's looking outside anymore. Get this thing back on. And so dependence on ADS-B, less dependence on the Mark 1 eyeball and clearing. It's just, you know, the danger's there. Mike Patey did a video back when he was building Scrappy as to why he decided to go with BRS and Scrappy. So CubCrafters saw an uptick in BRS installs. BRS has expanded the aircraft that they support installs in. In all honesty, I don't trust it. It's a last resort, as it should be. If I can't find a place to land, you might be over hostile terrain that's just either all forested. You know, people have told me that, you know, the Cub stalls so slow, just put it into the trees. Well, there's no protection like a vehicle. You're not going to get it slower than 40 miles an hour. So it's going to be 40 to 50 miles an hour into a tree. So I really don't know when I would use it versus trees or water, etc. Again, I don't trust it. In my worst case scenario is it's just going to be a streamer and it's going to make things worse. I don't know how well it's been tested, but it's a last resort. So if I'm not flying, then I've got one final option, or I'm having a medical condition, something like that. You know, some of us are getting up there, and that's a consideration. You have to think about what you're going to brief passengers. So the Cub has two handles, one for me up front, one for the passenger. And what I brief the passenger is, you know, I suggest you leave it pinned. If I'm incapacitated and the plane is not flyable, then pull the pin and pull the handle, and I tell them you're gonna have to pull very hard. It's about a 40 to 45 pound pull. But you only pull it if I'm unable to fly and you're unable to fly, etc. So it's an absolute last resort, so you gotta brief them as well. So think about your passenger briefing and what you're gonna tell them with the BRS. So let's take a look at the BRS. It's in the cargo space. As you can see, got some lights here to show. So it really doesn't take up that much space. I mean, it's a pretty large device, but you have very limited capacity. We've got 60 pounds for the aft. The BRS is, I think, about 35 pounds. Now the FX-3 is a nose heavy aircraft, so like even the DAR when I make sure this light when I was getting my initial airworthiness brief, you know, Stan had mentioned about putting weight in the back, and I told him I had the BRS. He goes, no, you're fine. Because again, the FX-3 is pretty nose heavy. So the BRS actually solves the CG issue and makes the plane just, in my opinion, fly better. The aft CG just seems to fly better. So I've got, you know, I've got TacNet with some stuff back in here, some cleaning materials, toolkit, and Jeremy from Tac Aero, oh, that's the toolkit. That's just white duct tape in case I have a fabric issue. But Jeremy had mentioned, you know, attach the, since that's about 8 pounds, that toolkit, attach it up here so you're on that CG line between the two zones. But anyways, that's the BRS. We'll take a look at it inside. We've got the aft BRS handle and the pin, and usually I have it tucked up in here. I also don't need my dog, although my dog's not like that, but if your dog is the one that likes to jump up on things and hang from a toy type of situation, then you might want to consider that, you know, tucking that thing away. But I can't imagine seeing a poodle or something like hanging from a BRS handle. So anyways, here's the BRS handle up here, and of course I had to do a little adjustment on this plane when I got it, and you know, I think of it as like a hand grenade. I hate touching the thing, I hate messing with it, I don't want to touch it. And now BRS puts this nice label up here. Hopefully you can see and read what it says, and it gives, that was always the question, is what are the parameters for using this in a Cub? You know, you hear the Cirrus guys talk about 600 AGL for caps available. So we're not as fast as them, so maybe it's a little higher, 800, I don't know. A friend of mine has also said that ours doesn't have a reefing something or the other, so it's it might be a quicker opening type of setup. I don't know. You know, that gives us some air. It really doesn't matter about airspeed. You know, altitude does. You know, if you're making a decision about landing or not. But again, if it's a last resort and you're not flyable and you have no other options, then pulling that handle and hoping that chute works is your last option. So again, the BRS, there's not much to it. Again, about 35 pounds. I believe the weight shows on that label now, which my previous FX-3 didn't have that. So that's a nice compliment that answers the questions as far as your speeds and whatnot. So it's not that much weight. You know, there's a lot of people that are really sensitive to lightweight Cubs. I probably got the heaviest FX-3 ever, between the cargo pod with some survival gear and the BRS, and then my TacNet's loaded up for, you know, my mobile snap-on tool repair shop. I like having spares for anything I might need out in the field. I got Tac Aero's spares kit as well, which is good. So anyways, I got a heavy Cub. If that 35 pounds or 50 or 75, whatever, between cargo pod, BRS, and everything else is going to prevent me from going someplace to land, then I probably shouldn't be going there, especially with my skill level. Anywhere that I can comfortably land, the BRS is not going to make a difference in that. So anyways, so that's the cost. There are some service intervals. I think it's 6 years for a chute repack and 10 years for a rocket inspection. I don't know. I don't know that any Cub people have had their Cubs long enough to go through it. So I'll have to see how that works out when that time comes. Also, being experimental versus certified, that weighs in as far as whether you're grounded or not. And then, I do want to show how it's installed. Oh, and one important note here is that the BRS is installed after production. So this plane goes down the line, and then it will go off into another hangar. Get some lighting here. And it will go off into the repair hangar at CubCrafters, and they do the BRS install. So they will go in and remove the skylight. And you can see just below the flat panel there's a strap. See that black strap right there? And here it is over here. So that's where the BRS comes in and wraps around this airframe at the wing root. So these straps, I have not traced them. I'm sure they're going behind these panels. And then working their way back to the BRS. Here they are right here. Again, so we're wrapped around these 4 points, as you would expect, you know, for the chute to be carrying the fuselage through these 4 points. See how they're wrapped around, hopefully. I'm not looking at the GoPro. So you can see. So that's how these straps are put in. So if you didn't order a BRS with your build, it doesn't matter. You can get it put in at any time. And the same thing, you can get it removed at any time. If you buy a plane that has a BRS and you don't want it, then it can be removed if you so choose. But if you want a BRS and your plane's already been delivered or production, you can order it at any time and probably have various places install it. So if you have any questions on the BRS, I'll certainly try to answer or find answers for you, or reach out to your dealer, and they're the best ones to get your questions answered. So hope this helps you out.